Underdog.
Welcome to the Underdog Podcast, your favorite pop culture drama podcast. Today it's just me and Josh doing the show. We got a lot of baseball to talk about, a couple NFL players dropping out. I'm going to do a hike review. The Marlins situation, which has gone down the past couple of days, looked really bad. NBA comes back tomorrow and a lot more stuff. As we start off every podcast, let's hop into the big news of the week. Me and Josh will vote on what is the biggest news.
What is up, guys? You didn't give me a chance to say hello, but just me and Eli today. Back to the OG. We don't really know where Ori is, MIA, but we're taking it from here.
Yeah, I hung out with him tonight. Me, him, Feldman, and Griffin all hung out for Jack's birthday in his backyard. Fun time, played some spike ball. But yeah, Ori's, I don't know where he is, but me and Josh.
Does Jack have a net in his a spike ball set? Oh, you brought yours.
My net's breaking though, so I have to get a new net. But that is what it is. Let's hop into the big news of the week, and we'll vote. Number one, LeBron sits in a throne for an interview. Chainsmokers concert. They posted on Instagram. It was supposed to be a social distancing concert, but it turned into a regular concert. This one kind of developed into a lot more, and we'll get into it. But Joe Kelly starts laughing at Astros players. Josh, you might not know this one. Aaron Rodgers uses tequila to cope with the Jordan Love pick.
Aaron, he took shots or not?
I guess. I don't know the full extent to it, but the next one is PLL played a game. I'm guessing they played a game. I don't watch Lax. I kind of hate Lax, but
Did Gerber tell you that?
Yeah, Gerber told me. The Nats played an away game in DC, and then Mahomes buys a piece of the Royals.
Wait, how'd they play a away game in DC?
I don't know, because Toronto can't play in Canada, so they're kind of just like.
Oh, do they not have a stadium in Buffalo yet?
I guess not. Maybe that was just alleged. I'm not sure because I haven't seen anything about that yet.
Maybe they're just called that, but they don't have home games. I don't know.
No
Doesn't really make a difference. It's not like they're having fans.
Yeah, exactly. But what's your big news of the week?
Big news of the week. We had the NFL 100 list, which we'll get into later.
Josh, did you understand what I said? Out of those topics.
Oh, out of those, what would I take out as the biggest news?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely Joe Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, living legend. One of the. I do not understand how we got. I think are we gonna get into this later? We're getting into this now.
Let's wait after we do one other thing I want to do.
All right.
I will say this podcast will be a little pessimistic. Before we hop into that, a little foreshadowing. But my big news, I'm gonna go with LeBron sitting in a throne. I like it. He's the king, sits in a throne. And then when he was asked about it, he was like, what are you talking about? Everyone sits in these, but nobody else was. But I thought that was pretty funny. And the singular biggest news of the week dropped this morning. I FaceTimed Josh as soon as I saw it. Nate Solinger, fucking idiot that plays for the Giants, opts out of the 2020 NFL season. Yes, Josh, how are you feeling?
When I saw that on my phone, I saw the notification pop up. I was watching Netflix on my phone. I'm like, fuck, I gotta tell Eli. And he FaceTimed me right as I'm about to text him. We both saw it. We were both very ecstatic. I mean, one of the worst players on our team last year and one of our most high-paid player on our team last year. So it was a win-win. I don't know if we still have to pay him, but we don't have to play him. So be good using Andrew Thomas to test out our future. And very happy we don't have to play him. It was atrocious watching him last year. What was he, 77, 76?
Overall? What are you talking about?
No, his jersey number, 76, right?
77, 76. I don't know. Yeah. He's not getting a jersey this year. That's left what I tackle, care about.
Yeah, left tackle. He might be blind in his left eye because, God, he could not move in front of the defender.
So excited for this. It's a great opportunity for Andrew Thomas. He He now will be the day one starter at left tackle, which I think was always the right move. But without training camp, we don't know what would have happened. But this is one of the only positives coming out of COVID. I respect Nate Soldier for protecting his family and staying home, protecting Daniel Jones
His
by
son.
staying home, protecting the Giants' record by staying home. Thank you, Nate Soldier.
Hopefully your son gets better.
Hopefully what?
His son gets better. That's why he's staying home. His son has cancer.
Oh, really? Oh, that's really sad. But, hopefully Nate Soldier's son gets better. Happy he's not playing for the New York Football Giants this year. And
It's a win-win.
that it is not that he has cancer, but that he's staying home.
No, but like staying home, not attracting COVID, and not playing for the Giants, and still getting a shit ton of money.
Yeah. So that's the big player that dropped out. We'll hop into some of the Patriots player later, but we have to hop into the Marlins stuff. Oh my gosh, this is my other
It's a
negative
wrecking
topic.
ball.
This was terrible. They have 18 COVID cases now, but
Insane.
this news dropped right after I said the MLB will not work. This is right after I said they needed a bubble, and now
Have the Yankees gotten players positive from that, or like who are they?
they played the Phillies. So some backstory. We'll get into our predictions in a second, but they were all tested, and on Saturday they knew that some of their players had COVID. Then they made some group chats, talked about it, and basically came to the conclusion that they're going to play their next game against the Phillies.
What made them think that was the right idea?
No clue. No clue.
Have they received backlash from other players around the league?
Not really. Not to the extent that it needs to be. I mean, this is ridiculous. I personally think that the coach after a full investigation, whoever was at the top, whether it was Jeter, the owner, the acting president, or Don Mattingly, the manager, they have to be infinitely kicked out of the MLB. They have to infinitely be kicked out of the MLB for this. This is ridiculous.
You think if Jeter was the reason that they played a game, you think he has to be kicked out of the MLB?
Yeah, he does. I mean, even Mattingly's in the Hall of Fame. Mattingly's a Hall of Fame player. Same with Jeter. You have to be kicked out. I mean, you cannot be doing that, putting the whole league at risk.
Right.
It cannot happen. It can't happen. And that is so irresponsible for the highest of highest guys to be doing that. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And then the whole schedule had to be shifted. But is there really an opposing opinion to this? What do you think, Josh?
No, I mean, I didn't know the whole story. You said they knew some players had it, and it's common sense to know that if some players have it, you most likely are going to have it as well. I mean, it's just common sense. They should have at least gotten tested before the game and had their results back before the game. So I assume they got tested before the game but didn't have their results back, which was stupid.
No, they did. They had their results back. They saw they had positives, and they played.
But so the players that were positive played?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
They got the results before the game?
Yes.
How did the league let them do that?
They didn't know because they didn't publicize that they had positives until after the game, even though they had their test back Saturday night or whatever.
Who in their organization did know?
The whole team. All the players and supposedly Mattingly.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is my last podcast before I go to the beach.
They just need to kick off the whole team. Holy shit. How are you that
They're the
dumb?
worst team in the league, so they should be kicked out of the league for this year, but I think there needs to be more repercussions for the what's it called?
Yeah, I know baseball is not a contact sport, but how can you be that dumb?
I don't know. Supposedly the team they played, the Phillies, had no positives, but I think that's impossible.
I mean, no, because they're not going to be touching them. Besides the dugout and besides when you're on base, you're not touching them.
I guess.
And, they won't be touching them unless they're on base, because it's only within their own organization they'd be touching each other. Which is why I assume they made the decision that they still want to play, because they're we're only gonna be touching each other, but still, that's just so dumb.
So stupid. But as I was
That
saying, yeah. As I was saying, this is my last podcast for the beach. I will be recording the beach. I'm going with Grant. Grant's been on a couple podcasts, I believe. So yeah, I also was on a trip last week and I did a ton of hikes. So let me do a quick hike review for everybody. So when I was in Tennessee, the Smoky Mountains, the first hike I went on was called Rainbow Falls. It was like 2.5 miles there, and it was all uphill, just straight uphill, and it felt so long. And then when you get there, it's just a drip of water. It was so stupid. I hated that hike. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. My second hike was Abram Falls. Abram Falls was a cool hike. It was it was the same length, about 5 miles in total, but it was not as.
Are you saying like there and back in total? Or?
Yeah, there and back in total 5 miles. It was not as uphill. It was kind of just like up and down, up and down. It wasn't that bad. But then the watering hole was sick. It was this huge waterfall, and you could swim in this huge area. So I went swimming with my brother and my mom and dad. It was super fun. The little scary part was that you couldn't see the bottom, which I didn't love.
Was Noah not there?
She was there. She didn't go in, though. She doesn't love the outdoors, but she was a trooper. She went on all the hikes and everything. But then I get out of the water, and I see a huge snake slither into the water, so I didn't go back in the water there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't
Did you tell like your parents or whatnot, like don't go in, or?
We were all out at that point. Like, me and my brother were gonna go back in, but then I was like, no way.
Right.
So the third one was more. Oh no, that was the last one. Triple Falls / Hooker Falls. Triple Falls was cool, but you just saw it and then you walked back, so it was decent. But then Hooker Falls, it was this quick, 0.8 mile hike, I'd say there, and then there was this really cool watering hole, a really like wide waterfall, which was really cool. And this was in North Carolina, near
Not Tennessee.
Not Tennessee, no.
Uh-huh.
And this one was just really fun to go in. There's no snakes or anything, it seemed like, and it was really fun. But then this last one is my favorite hike ever. It's called Moores Cove. It's in Pishka National Park in North Carolina. It's basically a 1.5 mile hike there, not that bad. And it's just like pretty flat for the most part. And then when you get there, there's this really cool cove. So it's like you can go underneath and behind this little falls. But then this was my second time doing it. We went last spring break. There was this path me and my brother found. We could get on top of it. So we went on top of it, and there was another falls up there. So it was like our own private falls, and it was sick. It was the
Were
best.
there a lot of people like on the trips that you went on?
The trip, it's like on the hikes. This last one, not really. The Rainbow Falls, the first one I went on, there was. I don't know why. It was a terrible hike, but there was a lot of people on a couple of them. And Moores Cove, it had a decent amount of people, but not many because it had just rained.
Had they been like social, like were people like being respectful and like social distancing and whatnot?
In Tennessee, not as much. But like when you're on the trail, you can like kind of make your way around. Like we would try to stay back and stuff, but like when we were at the falls and stuff, there would be groups of people and like we would stay away from them. But in Tennessee, there's no distancing. So that is what it is, and it sucks, but it's really, really Republican over there. Everyone has a Trump flag. Won't get into it though. Yeah, so that's my hike review. Going to Bethany this week. Not much. Have you been up to much, Josh?
No. Just one question. Do you see any bears in Tennessee?
Yes, I did see a bear. Kind of funny story. So we're in this like log cabin sort of thing, and the only place you would get like a little bit of cellular was out on the back porch. So I was sitting out there after I ate breakfast, and I look over, I look up, and so there's the railing, and then there's just like kind of out like the woods. I look out, and there's just a bear staring at me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So then I ran inside. And I was like, "No, come inside!" And it was like the size of my dog, though. But to my defense,
but also like if there's a baby bear, there's a big bear.
That was part of my thought process. But the other part of it was it saw me first. So it was 2 seconds away from eating me. Whereas if
How close was it?
What?
How close was it?
So it was like right off the railing. So if it runs at me, runs up the railing, 2 seconds, it's on me.
I mean, it wouldn't do that, but yeah.
If it wanted to. So I was like, okay, I'll go inside, regroup, and then go out there. So that's what I did. And I
Why'd you go
looked at
back
it.
out?
What?
Why'd you go back out?
To see it. It was really cool. We all watched it because it was like it started to walk a little further away. So
Did you guys see the mama bear?
no.
Mm.
The black bears don't get that big. The grizzly bears are huge, but those aren't
Mm.
in like the East Coast really.
Right. How like was it like a dirt road to get to like your guys' house? Like
No, it was a road, and there was like there was a couple houses around us, but
mm.
I don't know. I guess there's just not Wi-Fi. I don't know.
Or maybe it's like per house. You have to like
Could have been.
get it. Right.
Could have been. I'm not
That's
sure.
cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. Next, let's talk about some of the Patriots dropping out. A couple. How many of them dropped out? 3, 4?
Or maybe 5.
4, 5. Yeah, like a decent amount of them dropped out. Not huge players, but it opened up cap space, and that's what people are concerned about. Belichick doing something with that extra cap space. One GM who was texting Schefter like, "What's Belichick gonna do next?" Like the league is scared. Like pretty.
But they also lost some good players. They lost Dante Hightower. I'm trying to find on Instagram who else they lost. I know they lost Dante Hightower, some other guys.
I mean,
yeah, a good amount of people.
Enough where it opened up cap space. I think that was what people took out of it, not the fact that they lost the players that.
But like, do they not get paid? Like, cause I'm confused. That means like, would Nate Soldier not get paid then?
Play good for us. Maybe there's some like guaranteed money, or it just depends on the contract. Like, it might say like, if it's like all in incentives, but like the incentives are really easy. It's like play 50 snaps, you get 3 million. Like, then I guess no. But if it's like guaranteed, or if it's like report to training camp, you know what I mean? So it just depends on how the contracts are worked, and I think most of that's behind the scenes.
Yeah, I can't find who exactly was, but I know it was Dante Hightower, their center, one of their guards, and then like a backup running back or some shit. So their O-line is gonna take a toll, but overall not like too significant. Dante Hightower is a beast, but I think he's older.
Yeah. So I guess this like raises my next question. Did I do this in the last one? I don't remember. Do you think it's possible for the NFL to bubble? Like, all these players are dropping out. Everybody thinks it's a safety concern. What is their move? Do they just have a ton of players drop out? Do they try to bubble? What is the move?
If I were the commissioner, I would do it not bubble, because like that's kind of impossible with just how big the league is, but have super tight restrictions. They're doing 24-hour testing. They're doing that, which is good. But I do it like you can't like walk, like you can't like go to the store and whatnot. Like you have to like stay in your home. Like you're allowed to see your family and whatnot, which is better than the NBA players have. But you personally can't be the one going out. If your immediate family is like not social distancing and going out, then like you shouldn't be able to. But if they're like going to the store, that's obviously different. Like you're pretty much on house arrest besides going to practice and to games.
Like, that's logical, but do you think some of these players are 20, 21? I don't know if they're staying home.
Exactly. And then if you do not have that, you get a small fine and you have to do quarantine for 8-10 days.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because then
I
like
like
it
that.
teaches them like,
But
can't do that. You can't like risk our league.
I guess, but I
like it's hard. That's what the NBA is doing, and you get to see your families. So it's like
the NBA is like obviously like more locked down because it's in one location.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the NFL would have to like fly places and stuff still.
Like if they're all quarantining and they're all seeing each other together, like if none of them have tests, it won't be that big of a deal.
What if they did this? What if they did 2 bubbles?
AFC, NFC?
AFC, NFC.
I mean, that's still huge. Like,
53.
That'd be 16 teams. The NBA has
people per team.
The NBA has 24 teams, and they have 12 players per team. The NFL has 53 players per team, plus a shit ton more coaches.
Yeah, it's true. It's so tricky with the NFL. There's really not a perfect move.
That's why the MLB didn't do it. Obviously they did a much poorer job than could have been done, but they couldn't do a bubble.
They had to do something. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really hard because I think
if the NFL takes any examples, they should take an example of what the MLB did and don't do that, and try to do what the NBA did do.
Yeah.
And in between of what they did not do and did do, because they can't do a bubble, but they also just can't do jack shit.
Yeah. Let's look at the NFL 100 list. NFL 100 list just came out. They player voted. My bad. Josh, as I'm pulling it up, do you have any immediate concerns about it or immediate things that you saw when you looked at this?
Are we talking about the whole list or the top 10 or whatnot?
Well, if you saw something, I mean, I would expect it to be in the top 10 around there, just because.
I didn't see I don't really remember that much from the high up ones. I'm not sure where Drew Brees was, but I feel like he was not
He was 12.
Oh, he was 12. Okay, I thought he was 30s. Saquon Barkley was 31, I believe. I think that's fair considering he had an off year. Lamar Jackson should have been top 10. I do not believe he should have been 1. And I strongly believe Christian McCaffrey should have been above Michael Thomas. Christian McCaffrey was 6, Thomas was 5. And Mahomes, I think, should have been ahead of. Yeah, so Mahomes should have been higher. So, what are your takes? And we can do our own top 10.
Yeah, I like that. I think might be a hot take, but I think Tom Brady's a little high. I do. He's number 14 on this list. Seems
for
a little high.
I mean, I don't know though, because in 2019 he was. I don't know what he was. Does it say? Let me check real quick.
And I also think it's weird that they have offensive linemen. I don't know.
In 2019 he was 6. In 2018 he was 1. So I mean, it's only been 1 off year. It's not like it was a.
Yeah, but he's so old. Is he really
right?
A talented? He wins championships. He's the greatest quarterback of all time, in my opinion. But is he really talent-wise a top 14 player? How is he above Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is 16.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, fully understand.
Yeah, but it's also not just talent. It's who's hardest to guard. Who's you don't want to play against.
Being talent. At the end of the day, that's talent.
But Odell Beckham could have a lot of talent. You don't really care if you're playing against him.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
He's not that much of a threat anymore because 1, he's just washed now, kind of, and 2, he just acts like a baby and doesn't know how to play.
Yeah,
that's another story though.
Actually, Larry Fitzgerald is on this list at 69.
Yeah, that was, but also that's just what he brings to the team though.
I guess, yeah. I mean, again, it's player voted, so I think this really comes out of just respect. If you Larry Fitzgerald, if you're in a locker room with him, you respect him so much, you see him as such a good quote unquote player or teammate.
Right.
And then Beckham is 59.
So I mean, I think that's fine. He's still a top player in the league. He wasn't top 5 in receivers or anything, but he was still doing.
Colts on there, to be honest.
Colts. Quentin Nelson was 30-something.
29. I see.
Where's Julio? Julio's 11. All right.
Julio's 11. I think that he could even be a little higher. I think Stephon Gilmore is a little high, to be honest. I feel like he's getting a little too much respect for how he's only had 1 really good season, right?
Who is?
Stephon Gilmore.
He's had 2-ish good seasons.
Yeah.
Last year was just their whole defense was good though, so it was kind of quiet. But this past year is just the 1 star in their defense, I feel like.
Yeah, that's kind of true. All right, so let's rework our top 5, top 10.
Well, I say top 10. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
You can go first.
All right, so I'll go from 1 up. So my number 1 is I don't want to do this. George Kittle.
Mm, mm, mm. What?
The most talented player in the league. A guy that's the best blocking tight end and a top 3 receiving tight end. Basically making him just a all-around amazing receiver and blocker. I mean,
Wow, that is a
his value to a team and the respect he gets around the
insanely
league,
large hot take.
and the value he gets around the league, he's number 1. And Pro Football Focus, Chris Collinsworth's brand, it might not be Pro Football Focus, ranked him as the number 1 most valuable player.
Over a QB.
Over QB. I think
Wow.
he's the best player in the league.
What year is he in? Like, what? Do you know what year?
I don't. But I don't see him declining.
Mm.
He's the best player.
Wow.
He's the best player.
Wow. That is a very hot take.
I take that back. I think Nate Soldier's won. No. George Kittle is the most valuable player, one of the most respected players in the league.
But also, it's one of the positions that you don't like become a playmaker.
But he
like obviously he has.
He has been,
and that's been an exception. But also, like, he's playing against Let me
write this: George Kittle, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar.
Wow.
No, shush. George Kittle, Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Michael Thomas, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Donald.
Wow.
Why is that bad?
You're putting Aaron Donald behind like Michael Thomas in them?
Yes. Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the league.
No! DeAndre Hopkins is.
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
Oh.
Michael Thomas has had one of the best QBs. Michael Thomas has had the best QB in the league. One of the top 3 QBs in the league.
You can't
for his
guard
whole entire
Mike.
career.
You can't guard Mike.
And you can't guard DeAndre Hopkins.
That's not his Instagram name.
No one cares about his fucking ego.
No, Josh. Michael Thomas, I don't have the stats in front of me. He's the best receiver in the league.
Yeah, because he has the best offense in the league.
He doesn't have other wide receivers around him, does he?
He has Alvin Kamara, who's one of the better receiving backs. He had Ted Ginn. He had Willie Snead. And he just has one of the best passing offenses in the league.
Because of him.
And because of the true.
Patrick,
I'm not saying he's the second best receiver in the league, but he's not the best.
No, you're wrong. All right, let me reread this. George Kittle, Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Michael Thomas, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Donald, Hopkins, Derrick Henry, Stephen Gilmore. Yeah. And then Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson 10.
I have to, like, I honestly wouldn't put him in my 10 if he wasn't number 2 on this list.
Wow.
Do you really think he's a top 10 player in the NFL?
Yes.
I think he's 10.
Wow.
What's your list then?
All right. 1, Patrick Mahomes. 2, Aaron Donald. 3, Lamar.
How? He doesn't make that big of an impact on his team. He's so talented, but doesn't make that big of an impact on his team.
Who?
Donald.
He had 19 sacks 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Sacks.
This is the
19 sacks as a defensive tackle.
Yes, it's impressive. He's an amazing player. He's the best defensive tackle in the league. But you're not
He's the best defensive player in the league.
Yes, agreed. But you don't put a guy like that over McCaffrey, Kittle.
Yes.
What's his name? Even Lamar.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Second best player in the league.
Yes. Skill. We're talking about like who you don't want to face.
As what position?
like if you're on an NFL team, you're like, fuck, they have this guy. We're gonna get fucked.
Fuck. They have George Kittle. Nobody can tackle him. Nobody can outblock him. Nobody can guard him.
No, just no. No, no.
Nobody is as big as Kittle.
1, Patrick Mahomes. 2, Aaron Donald. 3, Lamar. 4, Christian McCaffrey. 5,
Michael Thomas.
5, Michael Thomas. Yeah. 6, Russell. 7, Henry. 8, Kittle. 9, Gilmore. And then who's left over?
Hopkins.
Oh, wait. What? Wait.
Oh, maybe
No.
Thomas is better.
Oh, I thought I said him 4. All right. I didn't write this down. I definitely should have done that. 1, Patrick Mahomes. 2, Aaron Donald. 3, Lamar. 4, Hopkins. 5, McCaffrey. 6, Thomas. 7, Henry. 8, Kittle. 9, Gilmore. And then 10 was Henry was somewhere.
I mean, Wilson's the only guy that's.
Oh yeah, Wilson. Fuck. Oh my god, keep messing myself up. 5 was McCaffrey. 6 was Thomas. Then 7, Wilson. Then 8, Kittle. Then 9.
Gilmore.
No, 8, Henry. 9, Kittle. 10, Gilmore. There we go.
Gosh, you're telling me you're more scared to go against a guy named Russell Wilson than you are George Kittle?
Yes.
In what way? Every quarterback is almost as good as Russell Wilson at this point.
Whoa!
Every top 10 quarterback.
He's more versatile than in the pocket. He's the best. He has the best elusiveness in the pocket.
No.
He's very accurate on the run.
Mahomes does. Mahomes is better at those.
Yeah, that's why Mahomes is the 1.
Okay, but I feel like Mahomes is on one level, and then Lamar's on the next level, and then Wilson is the top of the third tier.
And I believe that's better than a top-tier tight end.
How? Kittle is the most valuable player to a team in the league. Other than Mahomes.
I don't care what the stats say.
How? Josh, don't even look at stats. Look at his run against the Saints. He literally catches the ball, runs through 3 people, gets them in field goal position.
Look at Russell Wilson, where his runs out of the pocket, avoids 2 different types of sacks, and then throws a perfect pass. It had to be perfect to Tyler Lockett in the back corner of the end zone where he toe taps it.
Okay, and then look at 5 other quarterbacks that do the same thing.
No one can do the same thing as that. Who? Name who else can do that?
Mahomes.
Mahomes won. Lamar cannot do that.
Lamar can definitely do that.
No, he cannot. He's not as good as a passer as Russell.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers could maybe do that. Aaron Rodgers could probably do that. So that's 2 QBs.
Dak Prescott.
Shut up. Next, you can say Dwayne Haskins.
I was about to say. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can do that.
Not maybe in a couple years from now, but not right now. He's not that accurate to be.
I don't know. How can you not have Kittle high? It doesn't make sense.
He is high. He's 9 or 10. That's high.
No. He's 1 to 2.
No.
To 3, maybe.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I don't think tight end is that important of a position.
You're correct. You are correct.
Gronk was important, but he wasn't. Oh my God, you need him on your team to be good.
Kittle is though. That's the thing. Kittle took a unvaluable position and made himself the best player on the team at an unvaluable position. Think about that, Josh.
You think he's better? You think he's more valuable to the team than Nick Bosa?
Yes.
That I might agree with you. That I agree with. That I agree with.
He's the most valuable player, the most valuable person on that team in one of quote unquote, quoted by you, one of the least valuable positions. Josh.
Let me think of what you're saying. I decipher that. I agree with you for that. He is one of the most valuable players on the position in that team. And that is why he's the only Niner in the top 10, in the top 15.
He needs to be higher. He's the only Niner in the top 10, but he brought his team to a World Series, Super Bowl.
He did not do that single-handedly. They had the best defense in the league.
He's the player in the top 10.
Best defense in the league, best run game in the league besides the Ravens.
But when you're talking single player, top 100 players of 2020,
yes,
he needs to be at least
in the top 10, which
very least in your top 5, needs to be in your top 3.
No.
Yes. He's so valuable to his team, and put him on any other team that's below 500, and he increases that team's winning percentage, increases that team's in games, like how well they compete.
So switch him for Evan Ingram. Are we going to the playoffs?
Nope. No.
Why not? If you put Patrick Mahomes on our team, we're going to the playoffs.
That's a good point. And that's why it's different, because it's a quarterback position. The quarterback position automatically will have that much more because they're touching the ball every single play. So obviously you're not going to, but if you snap the ball to Kittle every play of the game, then yeah, like I'm saying, if he had that value to a team.
Wildcat every time.
Yeah. He's just like the amount of times he touches the ball. Like if you divide their value over the amount of times they touch the ball, he's number 1.
But also because they touch the ball so much in QBs, they have that much more room for error, and that's why some 5 picks isn't that bad than 5 fumbles for like a receiver.
Yeah.
Because they're touching the ball 500 more times.
That's true. I'm not pointing out these other players' errors. I'm pointing out how good he is in the limited time he gets.
I agree. He is very good. He is not in my top 5.
Think about it this way. Quarterbacks. They shoot 100. They ask out 100 girls. And let's say with Mahomes, 95 of them go on a date with him. With Kittle, he's only asking out 40 girls. All 40 of them are going on a date with him. Which one are you taking, Josh?
95.
Okay, but then coming right there behind him is 40 for 40.
And then what about the Lamar Jackson, who asks out 90 girls and 82 go out with him?
No, well, okay, let's do smaller numbers because that's going to be easier to show you the difference. Pat Mahomes asked out 10 girls. 7 of them go on a date with him.
Mm-hmm.
George Kittle asked out 4 girls. All 4 of them go on a date with him. You're taking the 4 girls.
No.
You
also like
you'd rather get rejected 3 times.
Also, you
get
can't
rejected 3 times.
You also just can't compare to girls because a QB position is the most valuable position on the field.
It is, and that's why they ask out more girls in this series.
He's not in my top 5. What do we have next? We've been on this for.
What do we have next? What do we have next, Josh? We have Joe Kelly throwing at people's heads, and then getting suspended for 8 games, equivalent to 26 games in a real season. That's what we have next, Josh. Josh, we have a guy that is trying to give his cheaters a punishment after they don't get punished, and then he ends up getting punished. This is so stupid.
I do agree. That was beyond ridiculous. I mean, just
quick backstory. 2017 World Series. The Houston Astros are banging on trash cans using technology to cheat against the Dodgers. The Dodgers end up losing that series, partially due to cheating.
How many games was the series?
7. Went to 7 into extras. Partially due to cheating, at least they lost that World Series.
Was Joe Kelly pitching during the game? Just wondering.
Maybe not that game specifically, but he was on that roster.
Mhm.
The cheating cost Joe Kelly a ring. It cost him money. It cost him a ring. It cost him a World Series name on the back of his Topps baseball card. This season, it broke, and it was confirmed that they cheated. No players got suspended. They got a shitty punishment of basically, oh, we'll take a little bit of your money and we'll suspend your manager. That's about it. So Joe Thomas says, oh, why did I butcher his name? I can't even remember now.
Joe Kelly.
Joe Kelly says, I'll take this into my own hands. Faces them last night and throws a 96 heater at Bregman's head. Misses, by the way. And then strikes the guy out and then throws an 86 mile per hour fast slider at I think Correa's head. And they both miss. But then he ends up getting Correa out and cursing him out and going, meh, and like making face at him and teasing him, benches, or whatever. Basically, he got suspended for 8 games in a 60-game season, almost 10% of your season. I don't know. Excuse me. This is ridiculous. They don't suspend the cheaters. They suspend the guy that tries to retaliate. Come on.
So, I totally agree. He should not have gone suspended. Or if he did, it should have been like 1 game, and the Astros should have gone suspended. When the Patriots got caught cheating, do you think their suspension and punishment was worth it enough?
I mean, it came so late, but I mean, 4 games for your starting quarterback. Yeah, I think that's fair, especially in a game that they were going to win anyways.
Okay, so that's your point. They were gonna most likely win their playoff games and however many
also,
other games.
What they were doing was such a lesser extent. They deflated balls for 1 quarter.
But that's because they got caught after that.
Yeah.
But also, like, they've been cheating for years, and yes, they've gotten caught 3 times.
They've gotten in trouble for other stuff, but yeah. What's your point?
But like they still cheat because they keep doing it. So
yeah,
and they're still the best team in the league, or before Tom Brady left.
Yeah.
And they could win without cheating, but they also did win with cheating. Do you think the Astros could have won without cheating?
That series, it would have been difficult. It would have been.
And then, did they win a ring before that, or was that their first ring?
That was their first ring, I would like to say, but I'm looking that up right now. Astros championships. But what's the point you're trying to make?
Like, obviously they shouldn't have cheated. Like, I think it's fucked that Kelly got suspended, but like, if they're that much above and beyond, like the Patriots were,
they're not
cheating. Like, yes, it's fucked, but also they easily could have won without it.
But it's not. That's not the case.
Possibly, right?
Like, they have good players, but I mean, you're stealing signs. Like, basically half of the hitting.
Did they do it in the National Series?
It's suspected they did, but obviously they can't. Like, at the game I was at, Game 5, one of the catchers allegedly, like, a buzzer literally fell off his finger, which is kind of crazy that the Nets still beat a cheating team, most likely. It's obviously not confirmed, and they're not even But how do you not suspend the guys that cheated, but you suspend someone that missed? He threw at someone's head, but he missed. How do you?
But also, it's also like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna suspend the whole team?
You suspend the guys on the roster, yeah. You suspend them all for what? 30 games, 40 games?
So that means you're forfeiting your season.
Well, you have minor league guys, or you just kick them out of the league for a year. What they did was so bad. They corrupted the league.
They're forfeiting their season.
Or they just use their minor league guys, something.
Which means they're forfeiting their season. Minor league guys are not going to be able.
Sure, they're forfeiting their season because they ruined all of 2017 by cheating and winning.
And Patriots cheated and won. They didn't forfeit their season. They cheated multiple times.
But their cheating was so much less.
And you're saying corrupting their league. Patriots have been caught cheating multiple times.
But
they were failing practices. They were doing this and that, deflating balls.
They did this for the entire season. They did this every game they played, at least at home. So they at least did it for 82 games. and the entire season throughout the playoffs. And it's such an advantage to know exactly what pitch is coming. It's such an advantage. That's like the whole idea of pitching, to try to disguise your pitches to look the same. But with this, it doesn't matter. You know exactly what's coming. So I say if they were over scouting or something like the Patriots were doing, that was like a little advantage. I don't think that should be the case. But they were literally they knew every pitch that was coming. They knew every pitch that was coming. That's crazy to me.
Right.
So I think they should have got suspended, and for Joe Kelly to not is ridiculous. It is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, we forgot to do.
Do the players like the commissioner?
No, everyone hates him. He's the worst. Everyone hates him. I don't know how he does this. What's the motive behind suspending a guy for almost a tenth of the season?
What you said he did?
What's his motive behind suspending a guy for a tenth of the season?
To tell other players don't try to do the same bullshit. I don't know.
I don't know. It just seems so stupid to me. It seems so stupid to me. All right, let's do your on this day in history.
All right, today, July 30th, in 1965, President Lyndon Johnson signed the first Medicare, provided by the government, into place. So good stuff.
Good stuff from that guy.
Yes.
All right, let's do. So how did your team, Josh? How did your Yankees do for your pick'em?
Yankees did not play. Marlins ruined that for them. So I technically didn't lose. Wait. Oh.
I mean, they played the Orioles.
Mariners.
You didn't pick that game.
Oh no.
Orioles, which also got affected by this, so he doesn't get a point either. But hey, I won. My Brewers beat the Pirates today, so I'm winning 1-0. Who is your pick for this week?
My pick is, I wrote this down somewhere. Did I send it to you? Athletics A's over Mariners. Who names the team the Athletics or Athletics?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's worse than the Washington football team.
Ooh,
that's actually worse than the Washington football team.
That's a hot take. The Washington football team is so bad.
But your name is the Athletics.
Hey, your players are athletic. You got to speak what you're doing.
I hope they're athletic. They're playing a professional sport.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the truth. At least it's not Washington football team.
It's a football team from Washington. It's the truth, at least.
It's the truth. All right, I got the Phillies over the Blue Jays. They got Jake Arrieta on the mound, so I like him. And it'll be the Phillies, so they've been quarantined, basically not really playing. So this will be the last game of that series. So I think they might drop the first two after not playing baseball for close to a week, and I think they'll pick that last one up against the Blue Jays, who the Nats just played. And actually, let me talk about the Nats series a little bit. So Max Scherzer had a great start last night. Ori thought he'd have a bad season, but hopefully this is on the path to good stuff. And it was weird because we played, it was technically an away game, as we said. Blue Jays were the home team, so we scored in the top of the 10th inning, but obviously it wasn't a walk-off, so it was kind of weird. We went 4-0 today. And in the first two games of the series, obviously we're not starting the best arms. We're not starting the best guys. But to let up so many home runs is just atrocious. It's not – and to not be able to touch the ball when you're hitting against very average pitchers, it hurts. It just sucks, especially when Soto, whose whole situation's fucked. It's so annoying. Like, he's gotten positives. He's gotten negatives. Nobody knows if he has it or not. Now, supposedly he's cleared, and now the mayor of D.C. needs to clear him or something. It's crazy. But with that just can't be happening, especially in a short season. We don't have these hiccup games like we did last season when we started off 1931. We don't have these games where we can do this. We're 2-4 right now. We're not even in the playoff picture. We need to step it up. We need Soto back. We need Strasburg back. We need.
At the rate this is going, we're not going to have a playoff. So
that's a good point. Yeah, if we get another outbreak, actually. affects the league, we are not going to have a season. So, yeah. So I'm winning 1-0 in the pick 'em. And yeah, what? Oh, NBA starts tomorrow. I'm so pumped.
I'm very excited. Lakers versus Clippers to start off is gonna be great to see what the two top dogs look like, and just to see what new basketball feels like. Because I mean, obviously, it's gonna be different. There gonna be some rust. Obviously, they've been practicing and whatnot and doing the scrimmages. But I was watching the scrimmages. The Lakers not looking good. So I mean, who knows? They also have a lot of injuries. Anthony Davis had an eye injury. Rajon Rondo's out until conference finals, and just a lot of new stuff going on. But J.R. Smith and Deion Waiters put up a combined 38 points. 38 points 2 days ago. So I like to see how they're gonna mix in an actual game.
Yeah. Let's look at the power rankings. This was done by Sports Illustrated. We'll do the top 10, but the guess the 22nd team.
I thought they were 24.
22.
Oh. Suns.
What? You think they're not in the bubble?
Yes, they are.
Oh, wait. Oh, gosh. I'm so stupid. Nah, it's the Wizards. Suns are 19.
That was my next guess.
Yeah. Because they don't have Beal or Wall.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh, they're fucked.
It's a joke. Yeah. All right. So the top 10 for this list is Mavericks at 10, Sixers at 9, Nuggets at 8. 1 second. Nuggets at 8. And then Heat at 7, Houston at 6, Boston at 5, Raptors 4, Clippers 3, Lakers 2, and the Bucks 1.
I feel like who was 4? Who was 4? Say 4 again.
Here, give me 1 second.
Or send me the list. Send me the list if you can.
I just sent you the list. 4 was the Raptors. That might not sound well. I'm saying it again.
I think the Raptors are a bit high.
I agree. I think
Houston, the Mavs could be a bit higher.
Mavs could be higher.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. Doncic and Porzingis.
Yeah, but you'd bump the Sixers back, or who would you bump back?
Probably the Nuggets. I'd probably put the Nuggets at 9, and then, Nuggets. Oh, maybe Nuggets 10. Honestly,
Really?
I say maybe Nuggets 10. 6. Mavs 9. Sixers 8. 7 Heat. Oh, I also feel like Heat are kind of high. I don't even know.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Raptors should move back to 6, and then Houston takes 4. So my list would be Bucks, Lakers, Clippers.
You like Houston over Boston?
I do. I mean, they don't really have the star power, and I think star power is gonna destroy in this.
Right.
So I take Rockets 4, Celtics 5, Raptors 6, Nuggets 7, Heat 8, 9 Mavericks, and 10 Sixers. I'm not that high in the Sixers just because they've kind of had a up and down year. I don't.
They have, but you saw Ben Simmons was hitting some threes in their games and the scrimmages.
Yeah, we talked about last week.
Yeah, and then I don't know. So, do you think you're talking about star power? Do you think the Bucks will be able to win the chip, or do you not think they have enough star power?
The chip, but I think you have to put them at the top of the power rankings.
Who do you think will win as of right now? Clippers or Lakers?
I really think the Lakers will win.
I want them to win, but I don't see it happening. I really, really want them to win, but I don't see it happening.
How does this go down on LeBron's legacy? Is he is this a 4th chip? I don't get it because everyone talks about LeBron just having so much less championships than Jordan. Is this one going to be totally discredited or what?
No, this would be more credited because it's just such an awkward situation. Going without basketball for 4 months, then going back into it and doing it with all these circumstances too.
Yeah.
Also, a big reason why I think LeBron is better than Jordan one I just think is better overall, but especially for like the series debate, like the rings debate, LeBron's competition is so much harder in my opinion.
Oh my God, we're not getting into this again.
I mean,
It's not
Kawhi, Paul
skill wise.
George,
Yes, you're right. It's harder.
Giannis,
Josh,
Pascal's
skill
gonna be a
wise, it's
top
harder.
player one day.
But he would not last in a league where people body slam him.
Yes, he would. Have you seen how he's built?
I
Have you
see
seen?
him build,
Have you
but I see him get injuries.
have you seen the plays where players are tugging on his shoulders, both his shoulders, and he still hits the and ones?
Yes, it's worse. It was worse back then. They were shoving you to the floor. Jordan and Pippen were two of the only guys to be able to withstand that shit.
There were only two guys in the league.
No, but they were the ones getting the most pushed around because they're the Bulls, the '96 Bulls.
Well, yeah, LeBron wouldn't be on the Bulls. He'd be on the Showtime Lakers.
But yeah, he would like. I'm saying he wouldn't last. He still wouldn't last if he was. If you're telling me he would have been the best player back then he would have been getting pushed around more than or just as much as Jordan.
And he would have taken it.
He would have taken it, but he probably would have had to fight through injuries, and that affects him more. Like Jordan was.
It also depends what stage in his career, because like he's older now. Like
even when he was younger, you can't make like he wouldn't have been able to been pushed around and done.
But he didn't like have like injuries when he was younger.
Still, he wouldn't have been able to take the beating.
And Jordan had injuries too, to be honest.
Yeah, and he took seasons off, but he was 6 for 6.
Super steam. Worst competition. The only valid competition he faced in the finals is who he played Karl Malone twice. That's valid.
Valid or not?
That is valid.
Bacon, egg, and cheese edition.
Did they play the Lakers in the finals?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't know who they played for the first three-peat. I know in the last three, they played Malone twice and Clyde Drexler.
I thought it was the Sonics.
Oh, it might have been that too. Where that isn't a valid team.
That is valid. Like, Gary Payton is valid.
Tony. Yeah, one player. Like that's like two players though. Like
on camp.
Like that. I feel like just overall, like a team could have beat that. Like obviously they made it to the finals. Like a LeBron-esque team or a Jordan-esque team could have beat them, which they did.
Hop into this debate too much, but
all right, we're not hopping into this debate. But LeBron's path to the finals. LeBron's path to the finals this year is very difficult.
Yes, I agree. I think it will help his resume for sure. Do you see those TikToks where it's like valid or not? Bacon, egg, and cheese edition. No? It's like this white guy, and he's like does these like people like make bacon, egg, and cheeses, and he's like, oh, you got the salt in there, three cheese, the bacon, butter, ketchup. That's valid. I tagged you in one like the other day.
Wow.
So funny. He's so funny. All right, what else do we get to today?
We got some music today or not much?
I mean, I'll review the Kid Laroi album. Oh, I still got my Twitter trend, but I like the Kid Laroi album, to be honest with you. It's like kind of a vibe. None of the songs are hits. I had really high expectations going into it, just because all of his songs have been hits prior. But it flows nice. It's a decent album, but I don't even think I downloaded a song to my playlist. But it was just a very, I'll give it a 6 flat. A 6 flat. That's what it gets. Like a good album, just nothing I put on my playlist, I guess. So that's where I give it. Yeah, I guess other than that, I'll get to my Twitter trend. Not much else really for this podcast. We'll definitely have a ton more to talk about because we'll have hockey. Go.
Yeah, go. What were your thoughts on the Mahomes buying the Royals?
Oh, we didn't get into that. Yeah. I mean, he bought like probably 2%. It's not official, but
right. Yeah.
Probably not that much, so it doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. But like, are they like a good franchise? Like, if you're like
ownership-wise, I have no idea. But as a team, like they were in the World Series 2015. Other than that, nothing really going on. Yeah,
I know they're like back-to-back World Series, but then they were like shit bottom the league.
Yeah, they've lost a ton of guys to free agency. So I mean, that makes me think either their managing or whatever it wasn't great because they lost so many guys to free agency who have now.
I mean, you still got to back-to-back.
brought them back to back, but then those guys were on contracts, and now
Did they win either? They won one, right?
I think they won one in 15 against the
Red Sox,
Mets.
White Sox, something Sox,
Mets.
Mets, Sox.
Mets Sox, yes.
Who'd they lose to? Do you know?
What?
Do you know who they lost to?
I cannot remember.
Angels. Is that a team?
Angels, but I think it was the Cardinals. I don't know.
Is the Angels a team? I think so.
Oh, yeah, speaking of the Angels, Anthony Rendon, my favorite non-national, who played in his first game the other day, hit a 2-run bomb.
Oh, she got traded?
He got let go in free agency.
Ooh.
But actually, speaking of Anthony Rendon, so me and my friend were like talking about it. So this offseason for the Nats, it was between who do we pay, Strasburg or Rendon? We chose to pay Strasburg, and from a national standpoint, it makes sense because we're a starting pitching-oriented team, especially when it comes to the playoffs. But our lineup is so bad, especially without Soto right now. We cannot get anything moving. Even with guys like Howie Kendrick, one of the best hitters, flat out, up the middle hitters. He can't really get much done. He doesn't have protection around the lineup. Guys can throw off speed. Guys can throw out of the zone to him, and it's not a problem because there's nobody around him. So, in my opinion and my friend Isaac's opinion, I think we should have took Rendon. We would have had a great lineup and then a good pitching staff. But now we have a great pitching staff and an okay lineup. So I don't think it was the move. I don't think it was.
Is Harper doing well this season so far?
I know he hit a home run. I'm not sure if he's doing great or not. I'm not really sure. I mean, the Phillies haven't played in a couple days now, so.
Right. Have you been following him just like ever since he left?
I mean,
because like you were a big fan of him, like you really liked him.
I liked him as a player, but I knew if he left, I would never I'd be fine with him leaving. Like I was the first one to boo him at Nats Park. Not the first, but you know what I mean. I would have been the first one. I would have been the only one booing him when he came back early May last season.
Right.
So yeah, well, there was one other thing I had about the Nats. What was it? Oh, Carter Kieboom, our prospect. They're not playing him. They're not playing him in the field, which concerns me because he should be playing in the field. And if he's not, that means he's not ready to play in the field. He can't play third base yet, which is not a good thing.
I mean, if he's a prospect, I mean, he's still got good time.
Yeah, but he had to come in. Like his role was to fill in Rendon somewhat, and now he's not even playing. Like he's barely playing. So it's kind of sucks. But let me hop into my Twitter trend. My Twitter trend is Kodak. I think it has something to do with stocks. But I had no idea what it was. To be honest, I didn't even look into it. But as soon as I saw Kodak, I was like, oh, Kodak Black, the rapper. So I clicked on it. It wasn't Kodak Black. I swiped out of it. It got me thinking, where is Kodak Black? I don't, remember, he made an album 2018, and he made that.
Yeah.
Where's he been?
I don't even know. What? I know he got arrested in between sometime.
Got arrested. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him, and I thought that was just interesting.
That is weird.
Just gone. I looked him up on Apple Music, and he released a song a couple days ago, like a week ago.
Actually.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody talked about it. It had Wiz Khalifa in it. I don't know. It seemed.
Was it any good?
I didn't listen to it. I don't love Kodak Black.
Right.
But I know
his old stuff's pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Why is Mahomes trending right now on Twitter?
Royals. I don't know.
It's from the NFL Top 100 thing. Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, because he got 4.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a better QB than Lamar. I guess because it's voted by players, and it's just you have to take into effect the versatility of Lamar and his running game. But I mean,
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes can be elusive too. So I mean, I don't understand it.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is one of the best talents ever.
Yeah.
And then how's your stocks been doing?
My stocks, so the stock of my VBI stock has been pissing me off. So I have 7 shares of it, and it had reached it was reaching its over the past 3 months it had grown a lot. So it went up over the past 3 months like 300%. Like I'd read stuff like I wasn't getting it at its peak, and like I wasn't done like to get it at its peak. But I like read stuff like it was expected to like keep rising and go like $9, and like it still says it is supposed to like keep rising, but I guess like all the big investors just like sold all their stocks, and that made the price drop a fuck ton. So I bought it at 5, like its peak was at 6 or something, and it's now at 4. But like it's expected to go back up, so hopefully it'll go back up in the next week or month or whatnot. So hopefully I can make profit on that because that's been pissing me off. But like I've been like looking up like this stock, like the articles I guess around it like every day, and it says like keep hold of the stock, like buy the stock, like it's gonna go back up. So hopefully they're right. And then a good stock for me has been Evolent Health, which is like a healthcare company, I guess, kind of. So it's like they supply like the patient. They're like the middleman, so like they get the patient right into like the healthcare or network. So like they're like the connector between those two, I guess. But like they do it at like reduced prices or something like that. And they've been going up, so that's good.
Good.
And yeah, not much.
All right, I think that wraps it up for this podcast. I have no idea for how long we went.
Definitely a bit longer.
Yeah, we babbled on George Kittle being the number 1 player because he is. Yeah, that'll wrap up this podcast. Go follow us on the Instagram, underdog.podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. That really helps us out. We're posting some new content on the Instagram, some new like clips of the day, and then on YouTube, our podcasts are up if you want to go watch on there. Look out for some in-person podcasts coming up. Look out for that.
Yeah.
YouTube, I did a thing with Jack, a baseball thing, a couple days ago that won't load to the YouTube. But if I get that up, definitely go check that out. TikTok, Twitter. Yeah.
Go check out his podcast, Chatter in the Cheap Seats, Cheap Sock.
The Cheap Seats Pod. Instagram, chatter_cheap seats pod.
Also, Ori's podcast, so
yeah,
shout out to
so
him.
go support him for sure. And then Ori should probably be back next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Nah, stay safe.
All right, cool. Peace.
Peace.
Underdog.
Before we move on, I'd like to give a quick ad read to Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me explain. It's free. Their creation tools allow you to use or record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, and it will be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money on your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.